I want to say that it is possible, but unlikely that we will be bringing people into Zyrnowski today. Okay? There's a slight chance, but it's really low. And that is because we have another crisis on our hands. We have something that is much more important than that. The waste setup. Another weakness in this design has been discovered, and I don't have a good solution for this one, so it's just going to have to be the way it is. The only thing I can think of is that it's going to be a really good idea to have multiple points of drop-off for garbage as we manage it. Let me show you what I mean. At the moment, we got 19,158 people, and we got over 25 million rubles. Now, if I click the aluminum separation plant, you're going to notice that this building at the moment is having its machines replaced. When a building has its machines replaced, it's going to sit there and do nothing at all until it happens, okay? Which means this stuff needs done now. All right, and it's taking its sweet time to get here, right? We have a restoration office or whatever, right? We have a reconstruction office taking a sweet time to get here. So I'm gonna say that this is a high priority. Yes, exactly. While that's happening, of course, the garbage behind it is building up, and it is now full. We even have this train sitting here doing nothing. I'm gonna send it back so that it can at least keep going over there. That means that you would expect, though, that because of that, nothing coming in, that all of this would be empty, right? You would expect that that would be the thing. I would, but this is full. Why? Well, because storages don't create pull forces, right? Sure. Except this is also very full. Not completely yet, but it's getting there. Very close. We are at the point here where we're about to have major issues. Now, even though this thing here, 64 cars, can really send out the garbage, right? Even though that's a thing, it doesn't matter. Look at how it's not sending anything, all right? All these cable cars are going out there and it's not taking anything with it. Why? This is the crisis. It's over here. The crisis is here. This is full. Because this is full, these are filling up. Because this thing can't process it and send it here. It can't process it and send it here because this is full. It's full because this thing filled up and this thing filled up. So it has nowhere to send the waste. Now, I've started to mitigate this problem by altering this one. You might remember that this storage here, this dump here, was mostly just for metal. We had a little bit of metal scrap in there. So I took one of the garbage trucks and I said, get that metal scrap out of there. And I went ahead and I actually repositioned it a little bit to make it closer. And here it is. Okay. So mixed waste now is what it is. We can bring the mixed waste into here. And that means we can bring the ash in here because all these ash dumps are getting very, very full, right? It takes a long time for these things to dissipate. We're going to need to spread the ash out even more than we already are. I also need an alternative means of getting garbage out of my city. So temporarily, what we're going to do is we're going to go over, we're going to tell these trucks to take their mixed waste to the border. I don't like doing this. I hate doing this, but that's what we're going to tell the trucks to do for the time being until this crisis is averted. All right. So I'm going to take a lot of these garbage trucks and I'm just going to tell them to go to the border with it. Right. So everybody should be taking, all these offices at least, they should be taking all of the mixed waste that's in here to the border. Take a look at the waste overlay. I did have several of these that were at 100% when I started talking. So they must have emptied this one out a little bit more. I think there was another one near, like over here. I think one of these 79s or so was full. And then one of these ones over here were full too. I'm trying to look at it. Maybe it was this one at 82. Either way, a lot of these are getting really full. All right. And we don't want that to happen. Look over here. We don't have a huge issue yet, although at 96%, 97, this is going to start getting full too. And it's because they have nowhere to put the waste. So when this happens, when machines are getting replaced, this is a weakness in this system because I've never used the maintenance system before. I've never used the waste system before, right? So this is like In my head, this would work, and I think on paper it worked, and even in practice it kind of works, but there are certain situations where it backfires. And having 3 of these buildings that can shut down because of machines periodically is a weakness. I'm gonna need to redo this system, I think, in a way that allows me to bypass aluminum. It should increase my throughput by 50%, because instead of having a 20-ton bottleneck, we'll have a 30-ton bottleneck. And it also allows me to have the majority of this setup set up for other things. Then what I'm going to have to do is essentially just have aluminum scrap like processed somewhere else. Like aluminum separation just isn't really working for me, which isn't really that big of a deal because we don't really get a whole lot of aluminum scrap anyway. And so I think the entire aluminum element of this is just a waste. If I had to go back and do it over again, I would completely ignore aluminum for this equation because we're really not doing anything with aluminum. It isn't until you start creating aircrafts that you really have to worry about aluminum. And I think at that point, when we start breaking down, like even if we're breaking stuff down, like even when we break down helicopters, the scrap immediately goes here, right? So we don't even need this building. This building is a waste of everything, right? So I need to adjust this because of that. So there's going to come a time where I need to shut that down. At the moment, everybody should be bringing their mixed waste to the border, which is a very long trek. We're going to have some problems over here now, right? The waste clinic and everything, right? This is going to start being an issue. And it's just because of that. It's because there's no place to put the damn waste. So we're going to need to do something here with this because this is still full. Even though this has been running, this is still full. And it's going to be full for a long time. I'm going to take and go over here and we're going to say that we want some more dumps. I'm going to go with medium dumps and we're going to place a few more medium dumps over here. I'm thinking probably kind of want to move this one, but if I move it, it's just going to create mixed waste and then they're going to have to pop it in there again, right? So it's not going to be good. So I'm just going to deal with what I got. And so I'm going to start with, I think right here, 1. Can we get this one? Yeah, right here. 2. And then let's do a 3rd here as well. 3. All right, do this and do this. Now, previously, this road looked like it was going to be kind of a main road for a while, so I went ahead and made this gravel. This was accidentally done as gravel anyway, but this is now gravel, which is good. And then I think we're going to need a proper distribution office because this many... I need to make sure that my trucks can get rid of the ash as fast as possible, and I don't want to deal with this whole, like, waiting thing. If I had to go back and do it over again, right, we do this with the claw arm instead, but it is what it is. So they're going to gather up the ash. The hope is that they can gather it, the 2 of them together, can gather it faster than this can kick it out. And I believe that that is the case because this is empty. So it is the case that these guys will scoop it at least faster than this can kick it out. So good stuff. But I would like to have more trucks here. So I am going to add in this area another distribution office. A small distribution office is going to go right here across the road from this place. And that's just enough to where we can get, things moving around. Then I can take this distribution office, this temporary one, I can get rid of it, move it off somewhere else. Now we have all this plastic waste here. I would like to get that moved too. So I can tell this office to take the plastic waste out of here and bring it over there too, because we can then get plastic created. I would very much like to create more plastic as well. So until that machine replacement is done, when in the world is that happening? What is going on here? Reconstruction office. What are we doing here? Assign. Reconstruction. Let's go. You're supposed to be doing this right now. It says there's 18 workers in here, but they have not brought the 1.6 tons of mechanical components. And we have... the warehouse is getting reconstructed now, too. Of course it is. Everything is getting reconstructed right now. So, anyway, that is the crisis that I need to avert, is garbage. And the best way to do that is to send my garbage trucks to the border. I don't like that because it's such a long trip, but it is what it is. Let's go ahead and get rid of that locomotive, and we probably need to... oh, you know what? What if I had to do with a signal? I bet the signal is causing the problem. All right, I can just actually go ahead and get rid of you. I wanted to see how far you were coming along in this tunnel, so it looks like a decent amount. That's okay. All right, so to get Zernovsky operational, right, we clearly need a lot of stuff here. We're going to need power routing. We're going to need, like, you know, electric. All the electrics and stuff has to be done. And we are looking at a power transformer right now that has only a few spots left, and I need to route power into these areas. So I'm gonna get from here and here. These are good spots, but I think it would probably be a good idea to split this so that I don't occupy more than one spot here. So if it's possible, I'd like to get one of these 235 lines to run over to that area, if possible. And I don't know if it is. Like I can get it to here, which is a little bit low. That would be more acceptable. And then if I can get this to be maybe there, I could accept that. I want to get a switch right here off this road. Is completely fine. And then from that switch, we have this maximum, 2.35. We're going to have you come on over right there. And then I'm going to hook it up like that. Now what I can do is I can just run it to here. So this is a lot of houses, but that's not a lot of power really needed. We'll go with let's go with a 1.2. And maybe we'll go underground because I might want to put like a monument or something here. I think underground is fine. We'll go 1.4 underground and then another 1.4 underground over here. Yeah, that'll work. All right, let's get ourselves set up for construction over here a little bit more. We want this warehouse to have electrical components, mechanical components, plastics, no, electronics, no. Let's leave it with, how about 5%? Just go like 3% on the explosives. And so we need a place to put electrical components and mechanical components so that we can have them locally stored for construction crews moving forward. Okay, so we're going to get this built. I'm hoping we're also going to need to start getting some of these roads done. I think I want some, I don't know, I think I want a lot of bitumen to start being used here. We don't have any. Excuse me? Oh, for Christ's sake, the machine's replacement's happening here too. Oh my God. It's all about mechanical components, isn't it? You know what? Here's what we need. Let me just double check this and make sure we, you know what it probably is? Like, we just don't have enough trains to cover everything we need, right? But let me just go over to not the train aggregate loader. I believe it's this one. Which one is it? This one here. Yeah. I need you to, of course, you're loading this already. Good. Where are we going to send mechanical components? It's this one here, right? Cernikova Farms. I don't know why it's Cernik. It should be Zernovsky. I think this just hasn't been updated in a bit. This should be Zernovsky. And actually, let's change it to Zernovsky. Let's go with rural development. Cargo station. I don't know. And then we'll go like this. Rural development. That's good. And then we'll take this one here and we'll say that you are the rural development office 1. And you are the rural development office 2. Right? Which makes you the rural development office 3. There we go. Okay. Very good. Number 6, I think we'll go ahead and assign you, and this one here when it's done to number 6. We can start assigning them things to do. But they should be able to gather these resources, mechanical components from there, electrical components from there, copy the source. Thank you much. And then asphalt and concrete. I mean, we got the money, and it's a really big, inconvenient deal to have you going anywhere else. So yeah, go back and get asphalt from here, concrete from here. That's fine. We'll copy that source down to here as well. And I think I want to start getting some of these roads done too. So I'm going to say this road needs to be gravel, and we're going to actually bring it right into that one too. Why not? These roads should be gravel. Office number 6, get on it. And yeah, so there's still, like I said, a lot of things to do to get Zernovsky online. And I think I just need to let time go a little more. Probably going to be 1990, you know? Not everything works to my plans. Not everything works the way I want it to work. All right. Okay, so while we're waiting for all that stuff to happen, I wanted to take a look at the intersection here and talk about a couple of things that I think might have been overlooked or not well understood, I guess, in the previous video when we made this. So I had about 7 different people, and it's not uncommon that I get comments and ideas for all sorts of things in pretty much every series I make, but it's unusual to usually get like 6 or 7 people. Unusual to usually get? Yeah, that's what I said. It's unusual to get 6 or 7 people to say the exact same thing, and to not quite understand the reason why I wouldn't do something that in their mind is a superior option. So I wanted to talk about that, and specifically with this intersection and the reason why it's not a cloverleaf interchange. Okay, main idea that everybody has had, or the last few people that I'm referring to had, is that why not make this a cloverleaf? It seems like it would be a really good fit for this area. And in general, you're correct. A cloverleaf would look really good here, but there's one problem with the cloverleaf, because I did try to space it out, but there's one problem with it, and that is it has to do with distance traveled. Cloverleaf interchange, I mean, there's a couple of other different things too, but primarily it's distance traveled. Personal cars work because they're able to allow people to go and start at a parking lot and end at a parking lot. But those two parking lots must be closer than 2,500 meters apart. It cannot be any further away than that. Otherwise, they won't drive. So imagine you want to drive to work, but if you have to travel more than 2.5 kilometers, you just won't make that drive. Sounds kind of ridiculous, right? I think it does. But the fact that the entire map is supposedly scaled to 20 kilometers from side to side, this is how they balanced it, okay? So, I mean, it's unusual for a country, for an entire republic country, to be 20 kilometers by like 20 by 20, right? So this is how they balanced it. So the cars won't travel more than 2.5 kilometers. So let's say hypothetically I was to place a road, let's say right here, okay? Let's say I have people that are going to exist here, and they want to get to work. And they're in a car, because I'm going to be using personal cars. This was some of the challenge I said I was going to do. So here's this. Personal cars right there. Let's go ahead and mark it down. This parking lot enables people to get to these parking lots here, right? So if I hover over top of this and I look, this is where they can go. And notice how that spot right there, that parking lot right there, the farthest away one next to the food place, is 2498 away. That is the most we could possibly get away from this. So in other words, if I place this parking lot right here, say I've got a housing district going on right here, right? This is where I'm going to put my housing, by the way. So yes, there will be one here, but I don't know if it's going to be this far away, but it's just an example. If I was to place this parking lot, I'll just show it to you. If I was to place this parking lot instead, right here, right? This parking lot is too far away to reach that other lot. We come over here. It will not reach those other lots because they're further away than 2,500 meters, right? 2494 is all that will go. It won't go to this one, and it won't go to this one. It's too far away. It won't drive it, right? And now we can't get to the food factory either. So now, because I decided to put the parking lot here instead of here, a whole bunch of people who would potentially be parking at whatever parking lot this is attached to the road cannot work in food. Right? So that's a problematic, that's a problem, right? You have to be an appropriate distance away. Most people who play this game, and probably everyone who's making this comment telling me that I should be doing a cloverleaf because it's a perfect fit and it works for the design, I'm willing to bet that 99% of the time, you're structuring your road network for public transit. You're not doing it for personal cars. Public transit works differently. It's about time. So a bus just needs to get to its destination in 4 hours or whatever, right? But for personal cars, time matters a lot less than distance. So, in summary, a cloverleaf interchange, how does that work? So let's say, hypothetically, I am on this side of the road. I live over here, right? Let's say we live over here, and we're trying to get on the interchange. Maybe we live over here is probably more appropriate. Let's say we live over here, and we're going to get up onto this this roundabout here, and we're going to head this direction, and we want to go work in the fuel, okay? This is just one example. A cloverleaf interchange, by its very nature and its design, requires me to drive further to go the same distance. So in other words, I have to drive further on the ground to get the same distance by air, or like fly by crow, whatever you want to call it, right? So instead of having the road go from like this and then go like that and just go, it's going to have to come over, pass the road, then round around back this way, then cross the road again. That's how cloverleafs are designed. You pass by the intersection that you're going to turn on. So effectively, you are driving more meters this direction, then you're rounding around, and then you're coming in. That creates big circles on the sides right over here, okay? Now, that's not inherently a bad thing, but I had plans for how this was laid out. For example, the space here is inconspicuously perhaps, but yes, conspicuously empty. But there's something planned to go here. I'm putting this here. I'm putting a television station here. Right here is where this is going. And it needs to be as close as it can be to that road that's turning. So it's probably going to end up being about, I would say, probably right about there. It needs to be as close to this highway as possible to make this work. Okay? Why? Well, because there's a roundabout here, and there's going to be two roads heading up this way, right? There's another road that's going across here. Right, so this road goes over like this. Maybe not quite that far, but it goes like this. And then, like this, and then turns in, etc. It doesn't have to be exactly that right now, but etc. You get it. So I need a road that goes out this way, and then there's a road and the streets that had come through here, right? So we're going to have this road that's going to kind of be like this. And you'll be attached to that. This is going to round this corner, right? So we're going to create like a roundabout sort of thing. And this is all one-way roads, parking, people living here, etc. They're going to get on the road here. They're going to go around the roundabout. They're going to head this direction, and they're going to want to get to work. And they may not be able to do that if I did a cloverleaf, because they'll have to drive potentially a couple hundred meters more to do that round to get that direction. And that applies to everywhere in this republic. Now, a cloverleaf would be perfect if you're going to try things for buses, or you have a lot of trucks and stuff from like construction crews and stuff that are all having to travel all over the place. In that situation, you wouldn't want things to have to stop. I mean, stopping is generally not great anyway, but you wouldn't care about the distance they're covering. All that you care about is whether they are being able to maintain full speed the entire time. When I made this, I said I was working within the limitations of the game. That's what I meant. Now, you might think, okay, well, you had room for that little round. You could have made it really tight. And you're right, I could have. But in so doing, I wouldn't have been able to place the intersection here. My rail is located here. My rail is located here. It's going to get in the way. At least on this side, it would get in the way of that happening. The other thing is that this rail is temporary. This is eventually going to be a bridge. And I have measured this out to make it perfect. So it's not a super... it's fine. Like from here, as straight line, I already knew exactly where these roads are going to be ahead of time. This is exactly enough space to get the rail to get a bridge over top of this. If I put this road, if this one-way street was here instead, it would not work. There's not enough space for the bridge to get up over top of this. So this rail eventually becomes a bridge, and it goes over top of the highway. We don't have to worry about the trains slowing it down. But for the time being, this stays because it's going to provide me that alternative route, that detour. While I make this electrified, I can get a detour here so that they can get over here and get over where they need to be, okay? So there's a lot of stuff in my head that's planned that hasn't necessarily been disclosed. And that's why I opted for this setup because it leads to us being able to have the same intersection that we would otherwise have with an asterisk being the middle section here. But it does so with less distance to cover. Now, you might think this is a problem. A couple of you have pointed it out. You wouldn't want traffic to stop in this area, right? Because this is gonna, obviously cars can clash here. You can treat this exactly like a roundabout. You don't have to have it be a circle to be a roundabout. All you need is for one way, one way, one way, one way. And effectively, this is just a big roundabout. But I understand, probably wouldn't want that to happen anyway, which is why the flow of traffic through here, I think anyway, is gonna be reasonably small. I don't think there's gonna be a whole lot of traffic going from this side over here or from this side over here and vice versa. I don't think there's a lot of cross traffic here. Most of the traffic that's gonna hit this area is gonna wanna turn either left or right. And for those instances, it's seamless. I might be wrong there because personal cars do whatever the hell personal cars wanna do. But by design, I'm having residential parking, commercial, workplace, commercial, workplace. So no residential parking lots over here, no residential parking lots over here. And so people who are leaving to go to work naturally are going to be turning one direction or the other to get where they're going to go. I've thought ahead about that. I'm hoping that that's okay because the spacing that's here is a little concerning. If I had to go back and do it over again, yeah, I probably would have left a little bit more space in the design because I have space, right? I could have used it. I just decided to plan things out accordingly. There's a big clearing here. I've been trying to make this flatter. But I think I'm good with that right there because I think like a little touristy area that's up on a hill would be kind of cool. So anyway, hopefully that answers your question as to why I didn't go for a cloverleaf. It has more to do with the function than the looks. And this needs to function. In order for it to function, they need to be able to get to work. That doesn't mean there won't be any traffic traveling crossways. That's going to happen because there are places to work over here, like the store. They might decide to park here and walk to the store. It'll happen, right? And, you know, there's going to be a touristy area over here. It's possible they will decide to drive straight across and work here. And stoplights will be completely fine for that solution. We can evaluate which direction they're going more often and time lights accordingly. It's not hard to do. People do it all over the place. Does it create a very small amount of congestion? Yes, it does. And it probably will lead to cars stopping. But just because cars are stopping does not mean it's not an effective design. You wouldn't want them to stop. You don't necessarily want them to stop, but there are plenty of highways around me that have stoplights on them. Not like big freeways that travel 10s, 20 miles between exits, no. But there are plenty of highways that do this. The other thing we can do with these roads being spread out like this is I can make dedicated left turn lanes for this, which is another thing I plan to do. Dedicated left turn lanes would be awesome. We don't have that in this game. I'm going to make them. And that's what this area is going to have. That's why they're spread out a little bit more and not being right up next to each other, because we could do things like this. If we want to, we could do things like this. Oh, did I not leave enough space? There it is. We can do things like that. So if you're going to turn left, guess what? You just get off the road, get out of the way, and turn left. And you just keep right on going, right? And you have a little bit of a queue. That's something we can totally do. And then so around here, if you're doing this like we do in America, it would be kind of something like this. I guess it'd be more like, I don't even know if it's specifically America or if it's just, you know, around me. But the left turn lane would be there. And then over here, we have the same thing happening over here, right? You have this go out and then it comes in and does one of these numbers. There's your left turn lane, right? Or what we call it the Michigan left. Like, let's say you're on this road and you want to turn down this road. You can't get there directly. So you need to turn left in order to turn right. You need to turn right in order to turn left. There it is. Turn right to turn left. That's what it is. Anyway, we have lots of options with that later on to keep people flowing. But this intersection might create a problem. Absolutely. We might get a problem with this. And we'll address it when the time comes. But at the moment, I don't think it's going to be too big of an issue. Let's talk about rural Zernowski just a little bit more, right? The idea behind this is not to be efficient. It's to do things differently, to kind of replicate a little bit of how I grew up, which is in small town America, where people are spread out, farms around, And people generally have the freedom of mobility. They can move where they want to move, and they typically have to move quite a lot of long distances. And you don't want to have to wait for public transportation when your destination is 15 miles away, right? You just can't do that. So personal cars are your only solution in those situations. And it's not just people who live way out in the middle of nowhere either. It's people who live in any density of population that is less than a comfortable walking distance away. People have, cities and stuff have plenty of buses and little metro trains and trams and all sorts of things. There's a lot of cities out there that have that system set up, and that's great. I fully support 100%. But there are places in the world where that does not work, and that is where I grew up. I grew up in places where that does not work, right? So I'm trying to sort of replicate that idea through here. On that note, we don't have to be super meticulous about placing residential zones. We can place residential kind of wherever we want, and people will just go there, provided, of course, there's not a whole lot of pollution. So we do want to have somewhat of distinct districts. And the idea being that people are going to come in to that district to work from different directions, and then they will be leaving in different directions to go home. So they're not all big residential, big commercial. That works really well for public transit because you can get a whole bunch of people right together, take a bus, bring them to work. They can walk the rest of the distance. Perfect. It's exactly what we've been doing over here. But in this area is the opposite of that. We can't get a bus stop that can pick up a large number of people here because they're going to be too spread out. So commercially, we're going to have lots of businesses where people can work in here and probably throughout this area, but we're going to have people living over here and over here and over here and over here and probably a little bit over here. And hell, I probably will put a couple houses over here just to do it. Have another houses over here. Farm areas, right? They could totally live over here too. There's nothing stopping them from living over here. In fact, some of them will have to, because this is our repair station, right? And this repair station, I mean, we got to repair things and people need to work there. They also need heat, which means I need a constant supply of people in this area too. So let's go get our personal homes, right? This is fairly large housing for this area. I want to be, kind of like this, right? So we would do something along the lines of, I'm trying to get a feel for like how we would maybe do this area. I can go maybe just a little bit bigger. Diversity in housing, right? It's not a big deal. So I maybe put like a house right here, for example, right? Like an apartment complex kind of thing, right? And then we can put like another, space it out a little bit, maybe put another one. I don't know if I like that. I think I like the small ones better. This is what it's all about. It's the smallest house they have. I'm looking for like the lowest density possible is what I'm looking for here. Which is, I know, the opposite of what a lot of people want in this game. And by all means, you play it how you want to play it. But in only this zone, I might do a few others every once in a while. I think it's nice and charming to have a small town. So let's say we, are going to have some houses in this area. Well, we're going to need heating, as you know. And we just said that. So how about we get some aggregate storage in here? How about 1,000 aggregate storage, which is just going to bring, we're just going to bring coal in with trucks because whatever, it's a very small place. Doesn't need a whole lot. So let's bring it in with trucks and we'll do it off of the big road. Actually, let's do it off of this street here. We could actually just connect both if we really wanted to. We could just connect both of these. No, it's fine. Whatever. And then we have the small heating plant, which is meant for small towns. It's meant for the really small areas that don't have a lot of people, which is what this is. So we'll just put that maybe right here. And then by doing that, we have the walking path through here, which can just connect to the road kind of any old where. Doesn't matter, right? So when we make our houses in this area to get people, moving over here, we have, our backyards and stuff, like I said before. So we just say, hey, 3 houses here, and then have like a little shared backyard area. I mean, people are really small, so this is actually a decent sized backyard. And then spin it around and go like that, right? So just another little residential neighborhood, no big deal. And then you might think, okay, well, what else do we do in this area if you have all these little houses and stuff that are here, and these little housing blocks? How are they going to eat? How are they going to shop and get their clothing and all that stuff. Well, they drive into town to go get it. That's the point, right? They drive into town to go get it. But these are farm roads. All of our farm truck traffic, right? So we're going to want to manage where people go by just using speed limits. And we can also tell certain roads to say no trucks allowed, which allows the cars to do what they want. Got to work within the limitations of the game. We also have a good need, I think, for a fire station out this way. So in addition to having things not pulling trailers, we can almost guarantee that the fire stations can get out when they need to get out, right? So that's good. We probably want to have like a little clinic or something for healthcare. We don't want people to have to drive themselves if they're injured or something. So that makes sense. We can put a little clinic on this side, and we can say it's maybe like right over here in this area. And then doing that, we could probably even get this road to come over. So I can say that this is now deleted again, and then we just bring this road down like so, and then we bring the track back like this. Yeah. So we can make a charming little area is what I'm saying. And by little area, I mean a huge amount of space with the same population as like this. All right. We can totally do that, and it's completely fine to do. As long as we understand that the resources that they're going to be consuming, they need to be able to transfer themselves to there instead of relying on us. We simply provide them a starting point and an end point. They find their way there on their own time. Okay, well, I did mention that it would be very unlikely for us to be able to get people here today. And that is the case. We're probably not going to get people in this video because of having to deal with the waste. But the waste does seem to be kind of under control, I want to hesitantly say. These places here are all, you know, kind of about the same amount of fill here, which is nice. They're keeping them all equal. And we don't have this completely full anymore, which is nice. And the waste has been fully processed here. So it just took some time to do it, but we did manage to get it done. And we started pulling waste away from these other sources now, which is very nice. I would like to see the waste start getting pulled out of this one, and then I can turn all of these waste trucks in my Republic back to bringing the waste in here. So I could probably start that now, actually. So why don't we say that you are going to send waste over to here. and we will copy your source to, let's go with this one too. And then you are going to bring your mixed waste over to this one. All right. And then I think we'll probably just let it continue to pull from this one. The rest of the garbage trucks will eventually get themselves brought back over here. But for the time being, we are going to be still sending some of our garbage trucks to the border just to kind of keep it going like that. This process actually doesn't really do local garbage anymore. This is pretty much entirely managing remote garbage right now, which is to say the train coming from Steel. It's pretty much just managing that at the moment, which I'm content with. But I would, again, like to redo this part. So I am kind of hoping maybe we get a little stay with the train. Maybe I'll tell the train to just cool it for a while and not come here so I can get this all cleared out. If I can get this completely clear, this one will already be clear because this is the bottleneck. And then I can restructure this whole thing. And then I suppose I could just leave this here. It's not like it's harming anything, right? And then if we ever do get some waste that we think is aluminum scrap, we can just bring it here, right? Maybe we can go into like the industrial areas and, you know, we could go into like something like this and just give it one bin, right? We could say one bin of this is, like, see, I probably should have some biological crates in here too, because some of this stuff is biological waste as well. Look at how fast that fills. That's actually kind of wild how fast that fills. So we probably want to look into getting more waste here because this is, you know, an actual like industry, right? We don't want these little ones here. We want the big ones here. This is an industry. Because we can't have that though, many little ones might be okay. Or we could do something like this, which is what other people have recommended. And I could go and do something like the little one that has the big containers, but it's the small one, but it has big containers, right? So there's just nowhere to put it because the power lines are running through here. So I'd have to get rid of the power lines. And I don't think that's going to work. Oh, maybe. It actually may work if I was to do that here and just get like a road. Maybe. Come on now. No, not gonna let me have it. It looked like it was gonna work just for a little bit there anyway. There it goes. Yeah, it'll work. And then that should give me, it says trash goes to here, of course, but I think once that's built, it'll go here. That's pretty interesting. And then we could also have this kind of double dip by getting this to connect here too. If I went like that, then we'd have this, you know, the waste would end up going in there too. And I think this needs another waste bin as well because I'm pretty sure the trucks have been just pulling it out of there direct. That's no good either. So we definitely want to do better with waste management. We have to constantly keep on waste, and it is kind of a burden, you know. You get into this zone where you're just like trying your best to, you know, make a cool city, or I want to make something cool, and you get into that zone to do that, and you forget about the little things. I can't get anything in here because of these power lines, man. I wonder if it can fit over here. Does it? Yeah, it looks like it might fit here. What if I just took this and went like that? That would take care of the food factory, wouldn't it? A little while anyway. Yeah. I think I'm gonna do that to take care of the food factory. And then we don't need that. We can replace it with just a dirt road. That's okay. And then once this is done, you know, I think I could probably get rid of this and then just have this be managed it. That way this one doesn't get flooded by that. Does that make sense to you? Anyone who's watching the video probably knows, and if you're just listening, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. If there's another small one, I think it's probably worth doing though. Because the small one does get here, right? He does eventually get here, but not before, see, mixed waste is now full. So I think it's bad. I think the way we have this right now is pretty bad. If I could change something about it, I would say I would probably remove a lot of these power lines and go underground with them. If I had a big waste bin right here, that would definitely take care of the distillery, because this thing does get pretty full. I mean, they do empty it. It just fills up really fast, and kind of absurd how fast it fills up, to be honest. Most of this waste, I think, is just burnable stuff anyway, but I think it would be kind of nice to be able to separate that too. Like, burnable waste should be something else, and then I could bring that to specific areas. If we already know that it's burnable, we should just bring it to, instead of having it sorted. But I guess it's fine. Okay, yeah, so roads. I've been working a lot on roads. I've been working a lot on buildings. The heating plant is up and running there, or at least it's ready to go. The asphalt plant is done, actually. Wow, I didn't see that happening. This pipe has been paused for a while. We need to get bitumen over here so we can make asphalt locally. So I want to go over and get here. We're running low on bitumen, probably because machine. Are we doing machines again? Yeah, we did. It's at 1% now, so we just managed, we just maintained the machines on this place again. And so this isn't even full anymore. Great. Oh, and we're sending it to the train anyway. The train should be only going to Mount Char now, right? So we're not exporting fuel anymore either. So this money that we're getting right here, this is like without sending it to Mount Char. I think that's pretty awesome. And we have all this fuel over here ready to rock now. But we could actually probably start sending it to Mount Char. And so I think maybe I will now. We'll send, say, another stop. We'll go to border and we will sell fuel. That's fine. And then come right back and load more fuel to Mount Char. Wait until loaded. Okay. So we'll do that. And actually, I think maybe I can just send it on its way early because I still would like to, I need to get this stuff filled up. So I'm going to swap that pump back to being like that. So we should see fuel going in this one now. And then I can just tell you to go to the border with what you got. I guess we'll just sell some of that fuel. What else? They started working on some of this stuff. So they got the walking paths over here. They started working on this stuff before I stopped them. I really wanted them to focus on roads because road construction will tie up traffic huge. And there's one thing I definitely don't want, and that's for personal cars, people to be completely reliant on personal cars to, you know, get their food, get their whatever. I don't want them to have to deal with road construction. We all know how bad we hate road construction, and that's what we're dealing with here. So I got these roads kind of all done. There's a little snippet here that isn't done. I didn't want to block the farm. They'll probably do that in the winter because nobody will be running it. This is completely done now, looking pretty good. I like to do this just for the sake of having the signs up. I think it looks better. I think it looks cool. They have like little waypoint signs, so people are like pulling in. They're like, hey, where do you go? Which direction do I go? Right? I like that. And then you come over here, do the same thing on this side. Yep, right there. And then over here on this side, we're going to have signs as well. So we'll have the sign be like something like this, right? And then the sign will be probably over something like this. And then here's our interchange, right? So we want to actually thought what I was looking at before was the interchange. That wasn't the interchange. Get rid of that. Hold on. Oh, it's over here. Okay, well, that's still fine. Yeah. So you want to have these signs kind of over about like this, to make them believable, I suppose. Yeah. And then over here on this side, we'll just put another couple of signs. And then on this side, put another couple of signs. Look at this, guys. I think this is it basically done? The tunnels need done, but other than that, we're pretty much done. Cool. And there we go. So like some signs on our interchange. That looks pretty good. We've had a lot of time running, but pretty much my construction crews have been almost exclusively focusing on roads while the helicopters took care of everything else. So that's how I got all the roads done. It's just pretty much all roads. I don't know what my time lapse looked like. I probably followed a couple of trains at some point, but it's pretty much been just rollers running around doing roads, trying to get us out to the border here. So we have access to that border connection to bring resources in. We have access to this one, which is going to be a little less used, I think. Primarily why I wanted this one more is because I'm going to be sending meat to the border, and there's no reason to load it on a train. It's right here. So just send it over here to the border. It gets loaded on a train to get distributed throughout our republic. But if we're going to send it on we're going to sell it to the border, we might as well just take the trucks and go that way with it, right? Because it's right there. But no big deal. What else did I want to do? In addition to all these roads, which is coming along, I do want to get this one done too. But as long as this one's done, I think I'm okay. The amount of traffic heading through these roads specifically is going to be really low compared to all of these. These ones are going to be very busy, and that is why I wanted these roads done before bringing people into Zernovsky. The car dealership is done. We're going to let anyone buy cars, and occupancy of car parks. You know what? We'll just say any. I don't really think that matters right now because we don't have anything attached to it. So we'll just go like that. And then all these parking lots, we need to adjust all of them so that it is prefer university education, not only university education. I want everyone. I'm a very inclusive person, all right? I believe in the freedom of mobility for everyone here. So let's just kind of let anyone use a car. You know, we don't really have like a licensing thing here, so I don't know if they're going to be very good drivers, but hey, you know, if they're really bad drivers, they can ride the bus. There is a bus stop there. We're going to have a bus. It's just not ready yet. And then these big lots here also, we're going to go with university education too. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, now if we wanted some people to work even further away, where can you go? Can you get over here is my question. You can't quite get there. So in order to get you there, I'm going to need the road. So this is too far. So we're going to need a path, at least at some point, that is going to travel this direction. And so I was hoping that that would be this road. I would need to have this road probably redone to where it is like, I'll try gravel for now over here like this, right? And then it can cross here. At least that's what I was hoping it could do. Doesn't look like it's up for it though, so we'll just let it keep going like this, and then we're gonna cross here. Well, I guess I can do it later on. Yeah, do it about like this and then cross here. Can I do that, please? Thank you. Right there. Good. That's gonna give us a road that heads this direction, and then I want this to connect over here like so, and then this road gets to go that way, but it doesn't have to go wavy anymore. It doesn't need to be a wavy road anymore. We can actually make this a good road, and this road can go straight like that. But if I do that, then I can't get the garbage trucks out. Oh, this is a demolition office anyway. We're not going to demo anything until this is done, so it's fine. Do that, and then straight this way. Yeah, with an asphalt road over to here. So it looks a lot better now, just like that. Well, it thought it looked a lot better, but maybe it doesn't look better. Maybe I should do something a little bit different with this area, just to kind of... I'm thinking terrain smoothing. What do you think? Terrain smoothing seemed like a good idea here, if it's possible. Just kind of smooth this out. Maybe. Is that possible at all? It seems like it's really wavy, right? Like, you need to bop it up a little bit here. Yeah, just bring it up and then move it from here. All those vehicles, come on. Tell me that this is a nice smooth curve or smooth slope now. I mean, it's not at all. It's because of the rail, right? It won't adjust because of the rail. So it's going to be a little bit whoop-de-whoop-de there, but I guess that means the trains are doing that too, right? Kind of looks like it. You'd think the trains would have, like, you know, kind of built up a little bit. I wonder if I can just put a bridge segment in here. I know it's expensive, but it might look better. Like if I just take it from here, right, and then I come up to, like, say, the top of this little hill. And what if we just put, like, a bridge segment like that, right? That would, I mean, again, it looks a little bit different, right? It's certainly different, but it gets it to where it's a nice smooth slope instead, which I think like it looks better. How much does that cost me? 211 tons of concrete. It's not really worth doing, is it? Not really worth doing. It's a lot of concrete because it's just, yeah. How about we go up a little bit here? Maybe about here and then do the bridge segment? This is where the biggest offender is right here. So I think I'm all right with that little bridge segment to keep that smooth. Because like otherwise I got to tear out the rail and I don't want to do that. Oh, speaking of this rail, I want to be able to bring fuel out this way from this direction too. I don't want to have to do it only from one direction. So if I can do it from this direction, it'd be great. And I think I figured out a solution for that. So what I'm going to do with the rail here is we're going to take right from this point here, which is where these two meet. And we're going to bring this out. Now I'll have to move the signals here. Let's just push these signals back just a little bit. We'll bring the chain to be... I mean, honestly, I guess the chain could just be right back here, can't it? That's probably fine. Again, treating the whole thing as a single intersection, we'll end up having you go out this way. Now, you should be able to do that. Now, wait a minute. There we go. Have you go out that way, and I think we'll make this a wooden track because it's eventually, honestly, eventually we're going to electrify everything, right? So we'll do that, and then we're also going to do this. We keep it kind of the same, very equal. I think that looks pretty cool. All right, and if we do that and we build this segment of track, which I'm going to have to manually do it because these guys aren't auto searching anymore. They just don't do anything anymore. We're going to say you're just going to have to click these right here, right? And then we'll just make these higher priority so they do them soon. But if we can get that to happen, then what happens is we now have a solution for getting trains into here from the base network on this side. So I can have trains coming from this side. They can now get through here and go this way into this instead of it only being exclusively accessible from over here. It might mean, I've been trying to think of like the future, right? It might mean that we could take waste from here and bring it to a different sorting facility somewhere else by just giving it access to this line so that it can go that way instead of having to be into this mess, right? Because before it was going to have to go down this mess, and I don't want it to do that anymore. Given the state of this and what this has taught me, I want to have more than one sorting facility. Of course, we're going to need to have more than one sorting facility. So, yeah, I want the option. Like, I'm looking for options. The track builders are going to come on in here. They're going to do that. They're not really going to be in anybody's way because this train is just kind of waiting to fill up to go back to Mount Char anyway. And it doesn't need to go to Mount Char for quite a while, so it's fine. How's our roads? Are we good? This little segment here's done. I like that. Love seeing that. This little tiny thing here needs done too, so we'll just kind of prompt that. And then this is going to be a very busy gas station, I suspect. So I'm going to make sure that this is there, and then I need Cernakova labor in here too, because these are pretty short segments. The same mechanisms, but pretty short segments. I'm going to let it go. And then this little bit here needs to be converted to asphalt as well, right? Oh, really? There we go. Right there. That little segment there. I want that to be asphalt too. And we'll make that a high priority for people just so we can get it faster. And then, again, Cernakova labor in there. So we don't tie up this road. And from that point, I think I'm good. Because, again, I think this is going to be a lot lower traffic for a little while. So we have some leeway into making this asphalt. But all of this stuff definitely needed done. It's going to be a very, very busy road through here. And because of this being done now, we can go in and do our one-ways. All the one-way markings right through here. Oh, is there a... Yep. Right where that well is. Right there. Come around like this. There we go. All the way out to there. All the way out to there. There we go. Looking pretty good. Highways are looking good. No one-ways or anything here. I thought about making these one-way, but I kind of decided against it now. Of course, you can't return home whenever you want to. Oh, right. You got to come from this way so that you can turn around and work on this. So now I need this train to get out of here. Yeah, okay. You know what? Tell you what we're going to do is we'll just turn this on temporarily. Give it just a little bit of fuel so that it can take it over to Mount Char. Are we ready for people? I really hope we are. We're losing people, right? Like you can see, our population is dropping. So it's not a good idea. It's not a good situation, I mean. Last month we had 466 deaths to 406 births. So it kind of stayed stagnant, but we had escapes because I don't know, they got no place to live, right? This year, we are collectively down, right? Because we at one point had like over, I thought we at one point had over 20,000 people, but I might be wrong on that. What about last year? Was it over 20,000 then? I could have swore I saw a 20 at one point. We got close anyway. Not quite, but we got close to 20,000 at one point. But in any case, yeah, we gotta limit the escapes, and that's just like by opening this up to people. So, car dealership, right? We can buy vehicles here, have them shipped in here, and people can, you know, go ahead and buy them or just claim them or whatever, right? This is very expensive, right? Obviously, we knew this was going to be very expensive. That's why I have a bunch of money. I can give them some relatively, I mean, these ones are okay. F-125Ps are okay. 105 kilometers an hour. Generally, I would want them to be able to travel faster, right? But you don't have to have them travel like, you don't need to do these. These are 11,000 a piece. We don't need those. So if I went to like say value and ordered them by value, we're looking for the cheaper ones here. 95 is pretty good. I think 80 is too slow. Probably gonna stay away from the 80 ones. This isn't bad. You know, it's 140. It's a pretty good power there. So I like a mixture, you know, like maybe we take like a couple of these, maybe a red one, maybe a yellow one. Then we have some of these here too. Let's maybe this color, white ones. Maybe we go like a blue one, and that's all the ones we can have at the dealership. So the dealership is going to just receive these cars, and people will come here to buy them, and then they'll have their own car. Okay. And by buy them, I mean just claim them. I think they're just going to claim them. I don't actually think they pay for it. And then we can also go in and say we want cars throughout here too, right? We're not going to do that just yet. And I don't know if these cars will drive themselves here, because there's no one to drive them, I don't think. So are they just going to... How do they get here? Or did they get... Oh, you know what? They probably came from the other border. Yes, they are here. So somebody's driving them. And then they're going to go refill themselves, right? So they're going to fuel up, which is usually not how cars are going to start. Usually when cars get delivered from the factory, they're probably not going to do that. So you can see the little personal cars zipping around, looking for a fuel station. We got one over here. Well, come on over there and get your fuel, right? And then once they got their fuel there, I think I'll go ahead and pave this too. I think I'll get this to be asphalt, at least up to here. That might help them reach roads too. And actually, with that road connected, can you tell me whether or not they can reach that now? Yes, you can. Very cool. We can get into there now. That's what I wanted to see. We can get all the way back into there. Beautiful. That's what I was hoping for. Can we get personal cars to get into here? Fan-frickin-tastic. I'm thinking we get another parking lot right over here. We should be able to afford that, right? That can fit in that space. Tell me that can fit in that space. It can fit in that space. Yes, it can. And we'll just hook it up to... All right, here. Take this out of here. There we go. And then we'll hook that up like that. Should be okay, I think. And then we'll hook that up when it's done. So get this. Road crews should be on these. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna have to do all this stuff. So this stuff is getting paved. See, they do roads really quick now, right? It doesn't take me hardly any time at all to do roads at this point, because we have supplies over here, right? We have gravel at least over here. We don't have the asphalt, but these vehicles will go to the border to get the asphalt. So it's pretty fast anyway. In fact, I think I want you guys maybe to go to a different border so I don't crowd that border. Let's have you go to this one now that you can reach it. Seems good. We want you to go... Sorry, it's asphalt and concrete here. Yep, and then you just do bop like that. So they'll go that way with it too. I do need to start paving this, at least up to this point, I think would be a good idea. That way these guys have a faster way of getting around. And then this is also done now, so we can get gravel being pushed through this now. So they don't have to come into here. It's pretty good. Once I get this paid, I'll have all of these offices using this single source right here. But for now, you know, look, here's the demonstration. It works. And it's way faster than having to, you know, take this dirt road down. So I'm digging it. I hope you guys are too. I know I said that I was going to bring people today in this video. Gosh, I really wish I could have, but I didn't. So the waste problem is solved. At least we got that taken care of, and the ash can now dissipate, and we're generating ash much slower. We've got lots of trucks just waiting around, right? So they're working out of this office now, and that gives me a spare distribution office. So I could take my spare distribution office. Oh boy. Yeah. We're gonna have to start repairing those vehicles. You know, before we go, let's talk about repairing vehicles. That's a good segue. So I think I'm gonna actually have to take this rail back a little bit. So I'm gonna take it back to maybe here, let's say. Probably right about here is where I'm gonna take this back. We're gonna just do that. Have this whole thing taken back here. Yeah. And then this part here can just get canceled. I think I'm gonna put a repair shop, small one, right here, just to help us with repairing some of these vehicles that are in here, this farm and this distribution office here. And I think what we'll do is we will put the repair center right here. So a small one. If I line this up in the corner just right, I can get this green. I think I can get this green and access that, I think I can get my building green and have that highlighted. Yes, like that. See, that highlights that building too. Is what I'm looking for. So right there. So you should be able to do that and repair those things, which is good. And then we're going to need another distribution office over here just to help us with more fuel distribution. We're going to have lots of different gas stations all over the place, and I want to be able to distribute things a little bit easier here. So I'm going to take this rail and I'm going to come down this way just a little bit more. Not to be too much. So let's say right about there. And then from there, we'll take this road. And I think we'll go with this road. A gravel road is fine. Straight out this way to about there, let's say. And then you can connect there. And then what we'll do is I want go with a large parking lot. We're going to have, like, our entire nuclear setup is right here too. So, well, okay. The uranium processing setup is right here. So large parking lots do make sense in this case. So I'm thinking a large parking lot will be right next to our distribution center. So we'll say another small one right here. We're mostly just looking for fuel connections here. So put a small one right here. And then right next to that, we'll have, I think, probably 2 large parking lots. If I do a third one, I'm going to want it coming off of a different road anyway. But I think the 2 on this side is fine for now. So we'll do the one with optimized traffic, and we'll put it right here. And then I'll put another one over a little bit. Actually, right up next to it's fine, because we're going to end up having them walk out the back anyway. So their walking path stuff will end up being around like this anyway. And it'll feed that way into whatever the setup is. They'll be able to park here and work there. We'll have more parking over here, more parking over here, etc. The goal with this to kind of managing traffic, and I probably won't do it successfully for quite a while. It's going to take a little bit of tweaking. But the goal with this is to not have everyone parking in the same spot, all right? You don't want to have like this, all right? I already did it. I already messed up once, and so this is going to backfire on me. I know it is. Just I'm saying it right now so everyone knows. You can watch the video later and you'll be like, yep, you said it. This is going to backfire on me. It's going to be terrible. This is going to be very congested because everybody's coming to the same spot. Now, what I'm hoping to do here is manage the directions that people run, the directions of these roads, so that we can at least mitigate that a little bit. Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 exit points of getting out of this parking area. What I'm hoping to do is to get these parking lots to where cars are kind of getting out of here fluidly as they get in, and that's going to mean one-way roads everywhere here. But in general, this is not good. What you want is for like some of the cars coming from this side, some of them from this side, some from this side, some from this side, and that allows people to just walk in from different directions, but also leave and approach from different directions, which helps you manage the traffic flow from that many cars. So I'm going to try to do that better I already know that's going to mess up, but I'm going to try to do it better everywhere else. Okay. So I think this is going to wrap up the video. 18,500 people. We're still, I don't know if people are dying or leaving. Is this a combination of both? Probably. Are you dying or leaving? There's some deaths. There's definitely some deaths. And it's from drinking alcohol. 1,500 people. Stroke or heart attack 78 times. Yeah, I don't know. I think our birth rate's going to start skyrocketing as soon as I hit this, though. And then let's get the citizen vaccination. I think we had a pandemic a little while ago, too. That's probably didn't help us much. I don't actually know where that was. I haven't been paying attention to these. But I think I had an epidemic pretty recently. And that might have contributed to some deaths as well. I'm not seeing it, so maybe I'm just being silly here. Yeah. Well, either way, we're going to get the vaccination research going. And then over on this side, let's research something else too. How about we research manufacturing aluminum? Synthetic fertilizer, maybe gas power plants. We could do gas power plants. That's not bad. We have a lot of oil over there, so we could get some another power plant over there that's burning oil. Not bad. Let's do airports, because I'm gonna end up having an airport probably before I need maybe not before I want to make gas power plant, but certainly before I need one. And then the headquarters here, we're gonna go ahead and grab advanced hotel standards, which will let us get bigger hotels. We'll start kind of getting ourselves prepared, at least research wise, for going Charlie Benz North over there. Okay. And of course, Zernovsky isn't the only thing that matters either. We're still working on getting things through the industrial yard. I had a lot of comments telling me about, I should connect steel directly to this area. Like, I don't need to. The trains are going to be able to take it from there to there way faster than all of these buildings can use it. Especially when I get my second train distribution office set up, which is going to probably be right here along the water right here. Then we can get it to come out this way and that way and whatever. At the moment, this train distribution office handles it. Okay, so it just handles it. We come over here and let's say, I don't know which one it is. It's this one, right? It just unload to 70% full, right? We load in the steel mill and we unload here, and that's it. And it's very easy to do. It comes over here with like 900 ton capacity and just loads it all up from these, which we've been filling up the entire time. There's more than enough to completely fill like 800 tons worth, and then just like bop, pops it here and then goes back home. It's very, very easy to do. We're also no longer bringing steel here. This is very full, but we're no longer going to do that. So I'm actually going to tell this. Are you already doing it? No. I really want to make sure that you are still getting your steel from here. You are, okay. Because I was thinking about switching it here, and I just wasn't sure if I did that yet. Vaccine stuff is done. Population's still dropping. We're at 18,380 now. It's tough, Like, it's really tough. We don't have any homeless anymore, but we clearly have something going on with people dying a lot, I don't know if it's like a baby boom thing where people are all just reaching their age now and that's it. But our birth rate is going to surpass this. And we've had like 1,700 escapes as well. Just without having more housing, people leave, right? So fine. I'm managing the population just fine. As long as they're not dying from like, pollution or something. No big deal. Anyways, I'm actually taking away this factory connection here. I've also purchased a bunch of forklifts in here, so they're ready to go. We just need power in this area, which I have not provided yet, so I need to work on that. And getting all these things hooked up to power and getting fuel in here and all that stuff, that was going to be pretty complicated. Like, I get the walking path in here, and that's fine. For trash, for these two buildings, I got it out back, and then this is all connected right there, so that works. But for this, I can't do that because there's this bridge here, and that kind of complicates things. So what I'm going to do is I'm removing this, and I think I kind of want to get another... I need to get another demo office in here, don't I? These guys aren't doing it right. So, well, maybe once he... the thing is, you don't have anywhere to bring it. Like, all you have is construction waste on you, and you don't have anywhere to bring construction waste. Because I haven't provided you with any means of doing that. So you really should just be dumping everything in here. But I don't think you are. You're going to have something specific for that. So it's a thing. I think maybe we need to have another waste processing center, maybe over here in this area instead of a town. Or I could process it here and then ship it out with boats or whatever. Like, there's got to be more waste processing happening. We just don't have it yet. They built the pumping harbor. I didn't even know you were working on this. You guys are working on all this stuff too. Well, look at that. No wonder it's taking me forever to build other things, because you're working on this stuff. Let's go ahead and pause these things. I don't need them just yet. Especially this. I definitely don't need that right now. Yeah, I'm not ready for boats. I mean, I got the plans in place, but I'm not really ready for boats. I think I'm just gonna tell them not to build like all of this. Just don't build any of that yet, right? Anyway, it was going to be really complicated to figure out how to get all that stuff to work. So I've disconnected this factory connection. As a fallback, I can always just go with 3 of these buildings instead of 4. But what I wanted to try is connecting it from this side instead. And if I do that, what I'm hoping it does is it gives me enough room to stick one of these bad boys in here. Which it might have worked. It totally might have worked, honestly. I probably could just click here and it will flatten the ground for me. But the other issue is I still need that walking path. And I can't have that. So what I think I need to do instead is to extend the road. If I extend the road out about here, then maybe I can get a smaller one in here. Like this. Right? Something like that. It's a smaller one. I know it's not super big or anything, right? But I mean, it'll work, I think. And then we can take and put the underpass right here instead. I'm coming up here, I can do it back in here. And then in so doing, I now have... Oh, no way. Thank you. I was like, come on, man. Help me out. There. That's what I wanted. So now we at least have a way to dispose of the waste and this. And because of this tunnel, it made things a lot more challenging there. But because I can't put it back here, it's not close enough. I also have one here. That's for the automotive, which is pretty easy. There's a lot of room here for more on that automotive side, so it's good. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all I really wanted. I mean, other than having Zernowski running today, that's all I really wanted to cover. The waste is done. All of our waste problems are solved, I think. Right? Yep. As long as this is empty, then that means yes. And this is barely... Yeah, we've solved the waste problem. We definitely needed the storage for it, because holy moly. We may not have solved it. I mean, there's still a lot of ash. And it does not dissipate faster than we're producing it. So we might need another solution. I think I'm going to try this. It's just an alternative solution here. We're going to take and have, I think, a train. Can we fit a train to do this? Gosh, I really don't want to. I could. I just don't want to. But if I went back like this... I could get a train track from this point here to come and bend and go this way. And then we could at that point see it fit to haul the ash out of here. If it becomes too burdensome, if there's too much of it, we can then get a train, come over here and grab it all and get it out the border. But that is... I'm entering into like last resort territory here, and I don't like it, because this is not supposed to be that way. But if we can turn sharp enough, and that does look like it's plenty sharp enough, yeah, something like that. I don't have enough room, not enough space here for that. I'll have to come up with a solution. I'll think of something. I'm sure it's there's an answer to every question. I just have to figure it out. Okay. So 1990 will be the year we bring people into Zernoski. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate you. See you next time. Bye-bye.